interesting. And I'm very much interested in things that have really the potential to change the world, whatever it is, be it, artificial intelligence. And there's something called Code Wallet, which is a wallet um, where you can hold kin, and kin is like a cryptocurrency. And I know the team that is working on them, and I find the team fascinating because it was actually the team that worked on the Kick Messenger. They had like 100 million users, and I used to use Kick a long time ago, and that's how I found out eventually about this project. And the interesting thing is about most people, like even myself included, is like, what are you gonna use cryptocurrency for? Like, how are you gonna use it in everyday, purchases, and how long would it take before the world starts to use it and all of this kind of stuff. But so it's mostly about the user experience, the actual user experience of the average person. Would the average person ever use it? It's extremely unlikely. And I mean, more and more people are talking about Bitcoin, and but the question is really who would really use it in real life? Like, what percentage of the population, the companies, and so forth would really use it for transaction? So you might, put some money in there with expectation that it becomes more valuable. But so when do you actually use it? And of course, there are places which start to accept it, but the kind of the speed at which businesses start to accept it is pretty slow. But then comes Cold Wallet with Kin, and they have a very unique and different approach. So basically, they're working not with the technology forward, but they're working with the user backwards. A little bit like Steve Jobs used to do with Apple. So he wouldn't work from the technology to the user, but he would work and think of the user first and then build the technology for that. That was typical Steve Jobs thinking, and at that time. And so they're doing something similar. Instead of thinking, what is the technology, they're like, what is the user? Does the user want? And so they developed Code Wallet, which in a way is tremendous because I gave it to two friends. I gave it to people on the street also. I let my parents try it, and everybody agrees that it's super, super, super easy to use. And you basically have the wallet running within like a minute or so, which is very unusual for, I think, any options out there. Anybody who knows me before my spiritual awakening knows that I've been in technology for a long time. Developed a lot of internet apps, even did programmed online radios for Yahoo and stuff like that way back in the day. And um, now I look at this and I really see a big potential, like a real difference to what has been available so far. So what I see is, and I think this is what's going to play out this year. I think by the end of March, they are going to launch the Android version because right now it's only on iOS. They'll add a couple of features where you will be able to buy Kin actually from within the app, and it's extremely easy to send it back and forth, and they even have patented technology. So you can scan a code from phone to phone, you can send it via cash link, you can do micropayments. And now comes something super interesting, and it took me some time to understand this word permissionless. It took me literally like a couple of months to understand it. So, permissionless means you don't have to ask anyone for permission. And I love that word permissionless because you don't have to ask. I love not having to ask anyone for permission of doing something in life. And so they developed something super interesting, which is called permissionless payments, basically. So when you open an account with PayPal, when you open an account with Venmo, Cash App, I don't know. I've never used Venmo or Cash App, but I guess it's the same like with PayPal. you usually need to give them stuff. You need to give them like either documents, you need to give them a credit card, you need to give them a name and so forth. And the moment it runs through the credit card, they have to do, of course, checks. So they'll be like, is the name on the credit card the same as the account? And so forth. They'll do, location checks, all of this stuff. And especially if you're a business or you have a blog and you want to or accept donations, you're an influencer or something like that, you're going to be like, have a business account. And then you have to give data. Just like, for example, if you have Google AdSense to activate payments and receive payments from users on YouTube or receive money from the advertising income, then you have to give them, a lot of data. So you're giving it to Google basically in order to activate um, that, which I'm probably never gonna do because unless unless a YouTube channel has like 100,000 visitors or more, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so you have to give them a lot of data, and Code Wallet developed something which is called permissionless payments. So within 2 or 3 minutes, you copy a JavaScript code which you put onto your blog or something, and you can immediately start to receive payments without having to ask anyone. And it's permissionless also in the sense it's in a way also decentralized in a way that nobody can stop you. And this to me is seems to really be the future of where it's going. So instead of going to PayPal, for example, I saw a Twitter post on it was a business guy who was doing a lot of, revenues per month, and he had 80,000 on PayPal, and PayPal just decided to close his account. He had absolutely normal business. He was some developer or something, and they closed his account, $80,000, and they said they will hold big chunk of the money. And of course, if you've earned the money and there hasn't been, a lawsuit or there's nothing official, what does them give the right to hold your money? Like, it's a bit like they're trying to do with Trump right now, take away his houses without even actually uh you know um I don't know if they have a legal basis for taking his, houses, whatever. It's insane. Anyway, so because you always need someone. It's like with Andrew Tate, when he tried to protect himself in front of the court. You need in the US or in some countries you need a lot of money, others less, but so if you can't defend yourself, so you always need money, and the money should be in most cases, not all cases, but it should be like untouchable. So basically with this technology, your money becomes untouchable because you're like, hey guys, check under James, the link to send me, donations, and you can just send it, and nobody in this whole world, nobody can be like, oh, I'm gonna shut down James so he can't, receive money or something like that. And in combination with that, with the extreme user experience, the really simple, perfect user experience, I could see where billions of people start to use Code Wallet. And the interesting thing is, like when you scan from one code to the from one phone to the other phone, it actually has it has patented technology. There's a patent for it, which a U.S. patent, which gives them the the security that scanning one code to another phone and being it money is protected. So for them, so it seems like they thought of everything, and now in before the end of March, Android is launching, and then once you're able to buy kin from within the app, I think that's where things start to get really interesting. I think that's when people will start to use it a lot. And I had in my life, I had 3 times problems with PayPal. One was they closed my account. I didn't. I had 1,000 on there or something. I don't remember. It's a long time ago, and they closed my account. Maybe 20 years ago, 15 years ago. I don't remember even. But they closed my account and they held the money. And then the second time they closed an account again. I had, and then they wanted to restrict my account for not sending specific documents, which they had all of the documents already, but maybe they got lost. I don't know. So I started to send them in again, and they kept getting lost somehow. And it took 6 months and some coincidence that they started looking at the account just the day before it was restricted, and then they open it again. And so I have this aversion towards centralized payment systems as a merchant. So, but there was really no way to take payment before. So if you had a website and you were an entrepreneur and you were running a website and you wanted to take, you know, any kind of payment, you would have to use PayPal or Stripe or something. There was no other option. Nobody is using Bitcoin for payments. So you can't be like, and you can't be like, okay, I'll just take Bitcoin and that's it. So, uh, so I think Code Wallet with Kin is really the first real, you can almost say like normal payments alternative to PayPal, where it's completely permissionless and you as a business owner can use it. You can use it as a client, as a consumer. And I would even go so far, if I were to do a massage and a woman comes to me and it's like, hey, and I'd be like, this massage is 50 euro, and Kin already has the on ramp in the app where you can buy directly within the app. I would say like, hey, pay me in Kin. This would actually be very funny to be one of the first ones to do this. Be like, have a woman pay for a tantra massage using Kin in Europe, in Cold Wallet. That would be very funny, and I think maybe I'll do this. Maybe I should start doing this, and I think this would be super interesting. So yes, I wanted to share with you because I think I'm always interested in things that will change, uh that are very far ahead in terms of vision, and that will change, um maybe the trajectory of humankind. And billions of people will use it, and I think this is one of the cases where this could really happen. So it could become, in theory, larger than Bitcoin. And uh just like artificial intelligence is interesting, or I was there when the internet started, I found that very interesting. Like, how do people connect, and I was also always interested in social networks. Was always interested to see, how people can benefit from connecting online, dating apps, also programming dating websites. I've always found that very interesting. And this is one of the technologies which is really refreshing, the Code Wallet, because it changes things a lot, I think. I wanted to share that with you. And I think it also has a spiritual component. And it reminds me a little bit of what Andrew Tate says when he says that, financial freedom is the first thing that you need, because otherwise you are restricted by what you can say, who you're dependent on, and so forth. So, and that belongs also to the realm of spirituality in some way. It's not, it's not connected to, full awakening where you just let go of everything that is temporary and just rest, abide as the self. But, even Mooji uses money. Monte Sahaja needs money. Everyone needs money. Every guru needs money. Even if it's direct or indirect, it doesn't matter. Even if he is sustained on some food that, somebody else brought, it needed money to get that food, and human labor. So, yeah, just wanted to share that with you because I like to be informed. And by the way, I love doing YouTube because I've been helped so much by other people with their YouTube videos. For example, somebody here said, I made a video about, Gemini being better than GPT-4 in some ways, not in all ways, but in some ways. And it's much faster, it's more concise in a way. Um, and and somebody here from my videos also switched to Gemini because they didn't even know about it. I just found out about it as well just like a week ago. So, and it changes our lives. Those are tools, just like the smartphone that you're holding in your hand is a tool. So these things do change, what you experience. Without the smartphone, without the PC, without the internet, without YouTube, I would have never experienced an awakening. That's just a fact.